Alrighty, the P.43 Tur. As said in the title, it's complicated. I really love the tier 6 tank in the European territory and the 5. And I got to the 7, it's the one before the Pantera, and I want to get the Pantera. So I've been grinding this tank, mainly in ratings, so I've been bottom tier right enough the whole time. I mean, that goes without saying, right? But tier 7's bottom in ratings, and you're not going to get a top tier game. That's that. And that's absolutely fine. I played 20 games in Encounter, got it to 60%, stuck it in ratings. And I've genuinely struggled out of all the tank reviews, all the tanks I've had to review, I've chose to review. This I found the hardest, and I couldn't quite get to why the essence of the tank and the getting decent gameplay in it. And I mean, I'm 67% win rate in ratings, bottom tier in a tier 7 tank that I don't believe, let me get this out of the way right now, is that strong. The tier 6 is much stronger. This is just like the tier 6 at tier 7. It's not a strong tank, and yet I seem to be able to grind results out of the tank, and it took me a long while to fathom it, you know, to talk about how to play the tank and to try and work out how the hell I was managing to grind results out of the tank. And I couldn't point at any particular game or whatever. I've played this tank differently nearly every single game I've played it. But what I will say, and the best way of starting a video, is that the tank is not particularly strong in any department. It's very, very vanilla. It doesn't do any one thing right. And if you look at this game, you start coming across things like Super Pershings, and I hate playing against things like a Super Pershing in this tank. You've got, I mean, I'm an APCR just to get through the side of the turret. You've got nothing on the Super Pershing. You ain't got the, I know it's a tier up, but you ain't got the DPM, you ain't got the armor, you ain't got the pen. You've got marginally more mobility, so you really have to think when you play this tank. And look, I pulled the Super Pershing up so I can get him in the side, and so that Lorraine can clear him. I need my team to bloody help me out in this tank. It is not a carry tank. But for all of that, I've played with situational awareness, and I've played with the team around me, and I can see the IS-3 coming around, and although my tank's not that quick, it is just quick enough to bugger off when you've got IS-3 in your butt. I'm literally going to relocate, and I'm going to run away as hard as I can. And I'm literally eking out a result. You know, with the team has played well, don't get me wrong, matchmaker is always a factor in everything you do. But I'm going into a game basically going, look, I've got a hit pool of about 1,200. I need to do my hit pool in damage to pretty much have a fighting chance of winning in this tank. And yet, pretty much every time I play it, I do my hit pool. And the play style of it is, it's a support tank. You got to support in the tank. You can't frontline the tank. You can't YOLO the tank. You can't face off heavies in the tank. You can't do a lot of things in it. I mean, the list of things that you can't do in the tank are manifest. But for all of that, it's not bad. I seem to win it a lot, and I'm thinking, geez, it's probably because I have to, for want of a better description, tank my arse off in it and be really, really aware of absolutely everything that I do in it. So this game, I'm going to drive down the heavy route, and that is because I've looked at the team composition. And if you don't look at the team composition in this tank, it's lethal, man. It's lethal. You'll get wrecked. I've looked at it, and I've noticed on the opposing side is a guy from, I think it might be the Elect clan, whereas the Ethos clan. And he's driving a T-54 Mod 1, and I've played against him before, and we've got some previous. He doesn't like me particularly. So I tend to ignore him. But I know that driving a T-54 Mod 1, if I go left, what he's going to do is find me and take me to bits and enjoy doing so, and I'm not going to give him that satisfaction. So, you can't face stuff off in this tank, you will get wrecked. So what I'm going to do is go up the heavy route, I'm going to wait for the heavies to trade shots, and I'm going to try and get up into this corner and basically give the red guys a headache from behind the windmill, and I'm just going to take pot shots at stuff and do my best to distract them. And the game has not started well because that defender has extended far further than I expected them to be, if you know what I mean, that usually hang around in that dip. He's extended right into the middle of the map, and then I'm going to abuse the armour on the tank to the max in this corner. And you see the bouncer just took off the Borsig. You're probably thinking, yeah, lucky bastard. Well, watch me do it again, because this tank, believe it or not, the front plate at the top is pretty tough, just like the tier 6. The turret's really good. I mean, it's a really good turret, and on top of that, I don't recommend you play the tank in this way. You can side scrape it. You can, believe it or not, side scrape this tank. And that's what I mean about the tank, right? You've got to eke out games in it, and there's no one way of winning a game in this tank. There's multiple ways of being, there you go, there's another bounce, being effective in it. And in this case, I'm just going to give this Borsig a headache. There you go, another 640. I told you can side scrape and it will take shots. If you've got it angled right, it will take shots in the top plate. Now, my angles were wrong there because I'm trying to angle to the Borsig to get it out. When I correct my angles in a second, I'm just going to get him done. When I correct my angles in a second, you'll see, wait for it. I mean, the Tiger P's looking at me. This is just angling. It's like classic side scraping and angling in a medium tank, but it will do that for you. And it's a really unsexy, unconventional way of eking out a win. But that, after all the games I've played in this tank, is effectively how you got to play it. There's no one way of winning in it, but there are multiple ways of doing your hit pool and damage and eking out wins in it. It won't carry, but it will literally, if you can put 1,200 odd damage down, the chances are, no matter how you've put that damage on the board, you're going to win the game. And there you go, I'm going to snipe the Mod 1 across the map. That Tiger P has done nothing but tunnel me throughout, and do you know what, that's absolutely great, because while he's tunnelling me, there's another bounce for him. He's not being effective, and he's going to go. And you'd think, if you look at this tank at face value, that it's weak and flimsy. It's amazing the amount of bounce you can do. I've bounced nearly 2k just side scraping the damn thing in this game and being a pain in the arse. And what I love particularly about the game is the Mod 1 is a 70% player, by the way. At the end just says it all, and this is aimed at me. And I know it is, and it made me laugh my absolute arse off. He says camping, and I'm not saying that on a children's programme at the end. Yeah, I did. And you know what? I won dirty, and that's what I do every single time I get in this tank, because I can't win clean. Now the final game, and I didn't show this first because it's like a cheap thing to do. It's like a really cheap thing to do. It's like the marquee game in the tank, I guess. And it's like, if I did a tank review and like this was the only video that I put on, right, you'd run away with the impression that the tank was really good or really OP and this, that, the other, or I'd had a bad run in it and I'd got wrecked. I'd put some games on where I'm getting wrecked. I say this tank is crap. Tank isn't crap, it's just a bit sort of meh, and you've got to really work hard to do stuff in it, and you're not going to get games like the one I'm about to play very often, because to be honest, any twat can have a really good game in a tank because situationally things kind of work out. But for all of that, I'm going to win this game in a different way, but the sort of concepts involved with playing the tank still remain. You haven't seen me frontline it. Now, look, I've not been helpful to the Tiger there. But what I've done, like for most of the games, is just to sit there, work out what the hell's going on. And situationally then come and support the team and take like the loose pickings that drop off the opposition, like this flaming chimera. I don't know what he's doing down there, but effectively I'm just second line in the tank. I've put one in the score. The comet's overextended, he's not looking at me. I'm going to put one in him, no worries at all. And then watch this, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to look, and look, there's an M6 mutant thing. Like, leave it alone. Like, best words of advice in this tank, leave it alone. You're walking on flaming broken glass when you're driving the thing. Leave things like that alone. Go after stuff that you got a fighting chance against. And you know, something like an RU or a Bulldog, despite the fact that, you know, arguably I like the Bulldog, arguably then the RU's a higher tier tank. Get after stuff that you can be effective against. And again, look at the bounces. That's not coincidence. I've used the turret and the top plate, and I've waited for the shots to come in, and I've moved back, and I've just pinged them off me, and it will do that. And there you go. The Bulldog's there. I can deal with him, and I can then get after this RU, who's obviously going to get one in me, but I've got hit points to burn at this point in the game, and believe me, I'm going to burn them because I don't believe in finishing games on full hit points, boys and girls. I believe in finishing games on 11 or 12 or possibly 20 at a stretch. So I'm going to go after this RU, and you can see that the damn thing will move okay. I mean, I'm chasing an RU-251 down as best I can, and you know, he's going to go, no worries at all, and then I can get down into the score. And like I said, if you look at this replay, you think, oh yeah, the tank looks quite OP. It really is not, but if you think about what you're doing, I suppose that's Blitz generally. There's no such thing as like a crap tank. There's quite a lot of just vanilla average Tech True tanks, and this is one. And don't get me wrong, when I get the Pantera, and I'll sell it, right? Because it's not really a keeper. But for all of that, I've had fun in it. And it's been a hard review to make. Anyway, I hope you sort of follow me, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you. Bye.